Oh, we got it back. All right, we're back. Game has already started. Looks like a pretty average board on both sides. Jake is going to chew the Ravager up. Yeah, this is a pretty textbook opening for both decks. Turn 1 threat and a turn 1 chewer on the other side. Or turn 2 chewer on the other side. Workshop. Nice draw there. Metalworker, not as good when you have 2 cards in your hand. Looks like Jake might have... Yeah, he's got a force, but with 2 cards in your hand, Metalworker is nowhere near as scary. It makes sense to not force that. Is that a... Looks like a mental misstep, which is not what you want to draw against a workshop deck. I'm not sure why that wasn't boarded out, unless I don't see it correctly. It could be a different card. But he's got 2 forces, so it's not a big deal. He can use that. But it looks like Nam's just attacking with the Metalworker. So obviously his hand is not that threatening. So those forces are not that useful right now. Jake is grindstoning himself end of turn. A fun play there. It could matter. He's got, I think he might have a delve spell in his hand. So grindstoning himself lets him get that spell out earlier. It could also feed Yawgmoth's Will later. And it was 2 bad cards, so it ended up working out. Is that a counter spell? It has to be a proxy for a mana drain. It looks like an old 5th edition counter spell.
It's really good if you start with way and play.
All right, Nam getting in there with that little bit of damage each turn. Not that impressive right now, but it adds up. Putting Jake on a clock.
I went to 15, then I fetched to 14.
Now Jake has the Metalworker, so or Nam has the Metalworker, so chances are pretty good he does not have any great cards in his hand because he could cast them otherwise. I can't tell what they are. They could be Dismembers. That would be a card he wouldn't be casting now. His Grindstone hit 2 blue cards, I guess. Jake just sitting on those counters. The dig in response to that Wasteland with all those cards he just milled. All right, he's got a Pearl out, so he doesn't have black mana for that Vamp. But he could get Vamp Underground Sea and then Painter next turn. I cannot see the card he just took. I'm assuming it was a good card, but I can't see it. Maybe it was an artifact. All right, so he took Underground Sea and an unknown card. Oh, Dak Faden. Yep, Dak Faden seems pretty good right here. He drew his second Dak Faden, which is actually really good because the first Dak Faden is going to die to the factory. It makes the play easier. He can either draw a discard, +1 or steal. They're both good here. They're both good plays here. I don't know what his life total is at, but the second Dak Faden is amusingly good, even though factory can kill the first one. Yep, attacks Dak, which is the right play for Nam. He does not know that Jake has another one. And it's a decent tempo play even if he knows that Jake has the other one, because Jake's going to have to use all his mana for it if he wants to cast it. It's not like Metalworker can block the factory effectively. Jake has so many forces in hand, but he needs to draw. It means he controls the game if he resolves something good, but he needs to do that. The factory is currently the best creature on the board, and Jake doesn't have anything that can beat it in a fight. Wasteland's pretty good here. Nam with the lands that cannot be countered, as most lands cannot. Any relevant spell off of Nam would be countered, but he can't counter a Wasteland, he can't counter a Factory. But Jake draws another land, so not the worst. Tough call here. He can DAC or he can Thirst end of turn. Both good calls. Looks like he's going to go with the DAC. Nope, not doing that. Getting a basic. Oh, does he have an artifact? Can he use Metalworker to generate mana? I did not see that. Changed his mind. He's going to go with the DAC instead. Still basic. But a different basic.
That's a good one. I'm pretty sure I can get every basic with loads of fetch lands.
So if he plays DAC right now, he probably just +1s it. It survives an attack from the factory next turn if he does that. He could steal a Mox, but it's probably not the right move. His hand's all good, so either play is fine. Yeah, that's what I would do here. So Grindstone, which he can't really use. The second Grindstone. Oh, he has a Grindstone in play. Did he draw 2 Grindstones? No, I can't tell what that other artifact is. Oh yeah, he does have a second Grindstone, but he might be keeping it for Thirst for Knowledge, which is reasonable.
You're fine. You didn't mislead me. I was just thinking about your deck, and I also, we can talk about it after. Yeah. I don't know about any of this.
All right, very curious about what's in Nam's hand right now because his board doesn't beat Jake, but lots of cards in his hand could beat him.
Nobody knows.
I love that Metalworker can reveal a Grindstone right now. Yeah, the misstep is a little surprising. It might have been a mistake that he left it in. I can't think of anything in Nam's deck. I'm gonna skim over it right now. Nam has just the Soul Ring and maybe Grafdigger's Cages, but Grafdigger's Cage would not be good against his deck, so it can't be that. Wow, that's lots of artifact removal there, or land destruction there. But amusingly, the Metalworker can generate mana for him. Oh, that he would have been able to hard cast an Ingot Chewer if he hadn't lost that red source. That is a Mox. If it's Mox Ruby, he's in real good shape. If it's any other Mox, not as good. Can't figure out what Mox that is. What is that? If that's Mox Ruby... Yeah, so he had an option of playing the Chewer here, which I think would have been right. But he did not do it. But he's got other plays. Yeah, I don't think he was looking into generating mana off that. I thought he had a Thirst for Knowledge, but he obviously didn't because he didn't play it at the end of his turn.
Do whatever you want, bro. I'm good with whatever.
Yeah, I'm not totally clear on what cards are in Jake's hand. It makes it a little harder to figure out what's going on. Nam has a white border card. That's got to be... what could that be? Not a lot of white border cards in Nam's deck. Yep, he's got enough mana to hardcast the Chura right now, which can block and kill a factory, even if he pumps it with the other factory. But it's funny that killing the factory is not even as important as just preventing Nam from killing that DAC. Just having that blocker. Really good right now. But since I can't see the other cards in hand, he might even have a better play than that. Nope. Ingot Chewer kills the Mox, leaves a 3-3 behind. Real nice in this board. What is Nam going to follow this up with? Mox. I think the other white board card might be a Lotus. Mox is not what he wants to see right now. Doesn't look like Nam's cards are that good for him. I'm not clear on that.
Are you kidding me?
I think it's actually a Workshop and a Lotus, which is really not that good for Nam.
Block with Chewer. Are you out of your mind, or are you going to block with Chewer? What are you talking about?
All right. Cannot see what that. Oh, Ancestral Recall off the top. Hard to read proxies on stream, but pretty good draw there. Shattering Spree weirdly bad against Factory. Factory has been very good for Nam. It's been a total workhorse, but I think Jake is just pulling ahead too fast for Nam to beat him.
That is accurate, sir.
Cannot tell what that proxy is, but he definitely has 2 Forces and an Ingot Chewer. Good cards to have. A Shattering Spree. My best guess is that his proxies are all Power 9, so if that's not an artifact, it's a Time Walk, which would be pretty brutal, but I do not know what it is. Looks like that looks like a Fetch Land and a Force of Will he's discarding. Fetch Land, Force of Will. What is that land? What is that? Oh, that's the Black Lotus? Oh, okay. Yep, so he just played Treasure Cruise off a Lotus with 2 blue mana floating. He's going to find 7 cards to exile. He's got plenty. Jake's running a Yawmoss Will, but you don't need all those cards when you Yawmoss Will. You can win with a lot less, so he can easily find 7. Yeah, not close. Draw 3 cards with 2 blue floating. Thirst, Force, Mana Vault. Probably not what he wanted, but could be worse. He gets that looks like a Pearl. So he's got 5 mana floating right now, 2 blue, 3 colorless. I know he has at least a Thirst he can cast right now, which is not bad. Yep. So he's got 1 blue, 1 colorless floating. Just drawing whatever he wants to draw. So he still has Grindstone in play. It's off in the corner. You can't really see it, but he just drew a Painter off the top. So if he lasts another turn, he gets to win on his next turn with Painter, provided Nam does not draw anything that stops it, like a Revoker, or some kind of lock piece. Like he does not have Null Rod in his deck, so that won't do it. Looking pretty damn good for Jake right now. He's got 2 forces up. I think he has the blue cards for both. No, he only has enough blue cards to force once, but I don't think Nam would need 2 threats to stop him. I don't think he has it. I think he's got 2 mana in hand. And didn't draw another one. I think he might have just drawn a Wasteland, which is definitely not enough. Jake is just taking the 2 instead of blocking with the Painter. Very little chance that Nam can kill that Painter, but Jake's not taking any chances here. And Jake wins it. Jake takes it down with Painter. He is going to the finals. Finals are going to be Painter versus Grixis Delver. Grixis Pyromancer, rather. Two exciting decks. Workshops did very well in the Swiss. Workshops were a favorite to make the top 8, but they did not make the finals. And I think that has been I want to say that's a trend in Vintage right now. Workshops are a little underrated in that they have been making top 8 maybe more consistently than any other archetype relative to the number of people who are playing it, but I have not seen them actually winning tournaments. So I think once you get to the semifinals, the finals, you're playing against people who have answers to shops. They are prepared for it, and they end up knocking it out. That's what I've seen, but obviously your metagame may vary. Nothing is certain yet in this brave new world. And we are going to have our finals pretty soon, I think.